Սիրելի բարեկամներ, վերջերս երիտասարդ կլարնետիստ Narek Arutyunyan-ի համերգը գերեց իր ունկնդիրներին։ Այնտեղի ունեցավ հովանավորությամբ երիտասարդ արտիստների համերգ կազմակերպության։ Այժմ հրավիրում եմ ձեզ դիտելու հարցազրույցը Narek Arutyunyan-ի հետ եւ նաեւ հատվածներ համերգից։
The Young Concert Artist, a non-profit American organization which is dedicated to discovering and launching the careers of exceptional young musicians from all over the world, has begun its 52nd season with the concert of an up-and-coming young Armenian clarinetist, Narek Arutyunian. The concert took place at the prestigious Morgan Library Music Hall. Narek Arutyunian performed works by Brahms, Bernstein, Constant, and Schoenfeld, accompanied by pianist Salon Gordon. Narek Arutyunian was born in 1992 in Gyumri, Armenia. His family moved to Moscow, where he graduated from the Moscow State Conservatory, where he worked with Yevgeny Petrov. Despite his young age, Narek Arutyunian is already a first-place award winner at age 16 in the International Young Musicians Competition in Prague, and at 15 years old in the Musical Youth of the Planet competition in Moscow. Today, he plays concerts at music halls around the world, performing alongside some of the most recognized names in classical music. This concert was sponsored by philanthropist and prominent member of our community, Annie Tota, whose continued support of Armenian artists over the years has played an important role in advancing Armenian culture and art around the world. Narek Arutyunyan's performance at Morgan Library mesmerized the audience with its rich, passionate depth, its seemingly effortless technical perfection, and its creative sensitivity, so characteristic of an Armenian artist.
Narek, thank you for granting us this interview a few hours before the concert. I can only imagine how focused you are on a performance right now. And I think in many ways, this makes this interview even so much more precious. Welcome to Voice of Armenians TV. I want to begin our conversation by asking you, how did you begin your musical career?
I started playing the clarinet at the age of about 10, 11. I was inspired by my father, who is a clarinet player, and I would always look at him. I would hear him practice and would get so inspired that, okay, I want to become a musician. I would say to myself when I was 7 or 8, I want to be a musician, that's it. But my parents were aware of that life of a musician is extremely hard. It's a lot of work, and it's not easy to make a living also with being a musician. And when my mother, who is also a musician, she plays piano, she was a piano teacher, she noticed that I had a good rhythm, good sense of rhythm, and she knew that I had some kind of a talent. She took me to a music school, to a local music school in Moscow. And one of the teachers there said that, you must give your son into music. And then after a year, I got accepted to the pre-college of Moscow State Conservatory. It's called the Tamsha Central Music School of the conservatory there. I started at the age of 11, then I graduated at the age of 16. And when I turned 17, I studied a little bit at the Moscow Conservatory, and I came to New York to study with Charles Nidek, I think one of the best musicians in the world. He's an amazing clarinetist also.
Well, I'm very happy that the teacher gave that advice for you to go into music, and I'm equally happy that your parents have supported you. Because for us, especially from Gyumretsi to Gyumretsi, because I was also born in Gyumri, it's a tremendous pride to see you performing in this magical hall in New York City. It's always wonderful to see our fellow Armenians succeed. But you spoke about your father, and as we both know, clarinet is almost a national folk instrument that is played on many folk songs. And how much of Armenianism, for lack of a better word, has played role in your creative development?
Well, it played a huge role, first of all. I would always listen to the recordings that my father played in his car, at home, when I was growing up in Moscow. That was my inspiration. Folk music, Armenian singing, Armenian clarinetists, different kind of That would be the most important. But then I wanted to be an Armenian player of folk music also. I would never imagine myself playing music by Brahms or Beethoven, Mozart. No, I wouldn't even know about those guys. But it's huge. I still listen to Armenian music. I listen to folk music. I listen to pop. I listen to everything, and everything inspires me. Music is an amazing thing. It's just you cannot express it through words. It's something that really catches everybody, and everything.
Yeah, it's certainly a universal language, and our presence here in this universal place, in a probably most cosmopolitan city of the world, New York, is a proof to that. What do you think of Armenian composers? Do you have a favorite Armenian composer? Do you have someone who influenced you? And do you include in your repertoire music by classical and contemporary Armenian composers?
I don't think there is any music that's written for clarinet by an Armenian composer. We only have arrangements. We can do arrangements. The only piece I played by an Armenian composer is Komitas's Krunk. I played it at the Armenian night with the Boston Pops. I played it as a solo piece, one of the pieces.
And now that you are becoming an established musician, internationally recognized, do you have plans of returning to Armenia and working with Armenia and contributing to Armenian musical world and a musical society?
I would love to play concerts there in the future, give master classes, inspire younger students to play the clarinet.
Especially in Gyumri, I'm sure.
Absolutely, everywhere. I would even do all over Armenia. I would love to. I haven't been all over Armenia. I was born in Gyumri, and I've been to Yerevan a couple of times. But
yeah, especially Gyumri, that has such a art appreciative audience, and certainly you are serving as a role model for a lot of young Armenian musicians who aspire to become recognized like you, and I'm sure your presence there will be a great benefit. My next question is, I understand that you studied both in Russia and here, now you're studying in Juilliard. So in essence, you went through two different schools of music. How do they compare, and what each one of them have added to your own development?
Well, the American school, the clarinet school, let's say, is different in the style of playing. Well, my teacher also, Charles Nidek, he studied in the Soviet Union. He was the first student who received Fulbright scholarship to go and study in Soviet Union in Moscow. He has a little bit of that Russian influence also. So what I learned from him is the sound is different. It's bigger. It's kind of a little more diverse. I think the approach to the clarinet sound in Russia is more of a kind of a straight going sound, but here the sound can just flow around. I think that's what I learned in here. Maybe that's something I learned that my teacher inspired. But in Russia also, the Russian clarinet school is great in a way that the technique, the basic things that you learn in Russia are the most important. Technique, staccato, legato, and the sound is also very important, but it basically gives you a great basics, great. And I think I'm in the best place right now, studying in Juilliard and with an amazing clarinetist.
Yeah. Perhaps it would be fair to say that through Russian school, also discipline, obviously, an intense discipline is a large part of the education. And then here, of course, there's discipline here too, but it's a different approach, and students are encouraged to think much broader. So I think you have the best of both worlds, and that's wonderful. Absolutely. If you don't mind, just run us through some of your highlights of your career abroad, here in the United States and abroad, for our audience to get a better scope of your musical career.
Once I got into the roster of young concert artists in 2010, I started having opportunities to play all over the United States in the greatest venues, I would say. Kennedy Center, got reviewed by the Washington Post, played in Merkin Hall, it's in Lincoln Center. Buffalo, I played in Mississippi. This season I played in Australia. I had a tour. I played in Boston with the Boston Pops, conducted by Keith Lockhart. I played in Jordan Hall at the New England Conservatory with the Longwood Symphony. Played in Kansas at the Lead Center of Kansas. I have coming up, I have a performance in Georgia with the orchestra, Albany Symphony. I have recitals in Tokyo coming up, in Beijing, Wuhan. It's all in this concert season.
That's wonderful.
Great, and a lot of things to look forward to in the future.
Yeah, it's very inspiring. I'm incredibly happy again to see you succeed, because we could all use development in our art as Armenians, as an Armenian nation, because at the end, artists are the face of the nation. And I truly believe that, and seeing very talented artists like you succeed is always inspiring. My next question is a bit more philosophical question. Where do you see yourself? Where is your goal? Where does your inspiration take you?
I do want to keep playing the clarinet, keep playing all over the world, and expand the clarinet repertoire, inspire composers to write pieces for me. That's one of my future plans. Another plan of mine is performing pieces that I can't play on the clarinet, which is conducting. That's something I'm very interested in. I'm studying a little bit currently. I don't have that much time with studying and playing the concerts, but that's a big ambition of mine, to be conducting and gathering an orchestra, performing pieces, Beethoven symphonies, Brahms symphonies, that you can't play on the clarinet and the piano.
You know, being artist myself, working in film, I'm always curious about, and I always try to take an opportunity when I speak with an artist directly about the process, the creative process, or the rehearsal process. Mm-hmm. How do you prepare for your concerts? Give me your day, give me your preparation, both mental and physical.
Well, it depends on a concert.
Do you get nervous? Let's start from that.
Not anymore. It's not the getting nervous thing. It's just the sense of responsibility when you're on stage. You have to, prove that you deserve the competition that you won and that I won in 2010. Yeah. Back to the question, how I prepared to a concert. If it's a recital, I prepare. I don't know. It takes me a couple of months. I keep practicing the same pieces. We get together with. I get together with a pianist, and we keep playing. If it's a concert with an orchestra, I just practice. As simple as that. Yeah.
You make it sound simple, but it is not simple, of course. It requires tremendous amount of labor, dedication, and also being on stage in itself is very challenging, because you have a live connection with the audience. It's unpredictable in many ways. It's an organic process, and it takes a lot to take that emotion that's within you and through your instrument translate it to the audience. My last question to you is, there are a lot of young, very young, like children musicians, a little bit older, aspiring musicians are watching this show. And if you could give them a piece of advice, what would that be?
An advice, I think, would be to stick with something that they love, which is, in this case, if they love music sincerely, to stick with it and dedicate all their time to that. Listen to a lot of music. Mm-hmm. Very important advice. Listen to different music. To
be open to art.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Be open to art, to know all kinds of art. Go to museums is also very important. Read literature. Mm-hmm. Everything plays a big role.
Wonderful advice. Well, there you have it. If you're watching us, this is a rare opportunity to get advice from a professional. And thank you so much for this interview. We don't want to hold you any longer. We are very excited, more than you can imagine, to see you perform, and looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Սիրելյանի, հենց նոր ավարտվեց համերգը եւ ինչպես դու ասեցիր, շունչները սպահած լսեցինք ամբողջը եւ այս համերգի վայելքի համար ինչ որտեղ կպարտինք նաև քեզ, որովհետև եթե չլինեն հովանավորները, արվեստասեր հովանավորները, այս մեր երիտասարդ արտիստները չեն կարող ունենալ արվեստի այն ճանապարհը, որը պետք է որ ունենան։ Դրա համար ուզում եմ նախ շնորհակալություն հայտնել քեզ եւ հարցնել ինչու կհովանավորես։
Ինձի համար իսկապես պատիվ մնի հովանավորել մանավանդ հայ երաժիշտները։ Ես գիտեմ, որ մեր հայրենիքին մեջ մանավանդ անցնող 20 տարիները ի վեր Ատկային հայ դաղանթավոր երաժիշտներու, նկարիչներու հանդիպելու արիթ ունեցած ենք եւ եթե մենք ամերիկահայերս, որոնք արիթը թե նյութաբես թե դարբեր ծևերով ունին կարողությունը անոնց հովանավորելու, ադիգա մերին բարդականությունն է։ Ոչ միայն իմին բադիվս է ասիգա, իմին սիրելի ինգերուներես իրեն արոթին հետը այս ծերնարգը հովանավորելու, այլ նաեւ իմին բարդականություն սեիփլ հայ դիգին քաչալերելու Նարեգի բես այսպիսի դաղանթավոր հայեր եւ անոնց մենք շատեր ունենք այնպես որ ասիգա իբր հայդիկին նվազագույնն է որ գրնամնել
Սիրելյանի միայն հայ արտիստներին կհովանավորեք
չէ իմին ինչ կորձունեություններս մոտավորապես 25 կազմակերպություններու հետ է ավելի միջազգային ոչ միայն դեղական ամերիկյան թե հայկական եւ թե ինչպես նաեւ միջազգային գազམ་ագերություններու հետ եւ ամենադեն միշտ կփնտրեմ հայերը կամ եթե նույնիսկ հայ չլան ցևով ինձ մով կներկայացնեմ թե ով ենք մենք հայերս եւ այդ ցևով գուզեմ որ ամերիկացիները այլ ինչպես նաեւ այլ ասկերը գիտնան թե ով ենք մենք հայերս եւ այս ցևով գրնամ ես իմ մասնակցությունս բերելու հայրուն մասին խոսելով միջազգային գազམ་ագերության մեջ եւ բոլորնակի դեմ որ ես հայ եմ
Անի վերջերս դու հովանավորեցիր երկու Նարեկների, մեկը Նարեկ Հախնազարյանը եւ մյուսը Narek Arutyunyan-ը։ Ինչն է այս երիտասարդների մեջ, ինչն է որ քեզ ներշնչել է իրենց օգնելու։
Նախքան պատասխանելս ծեր այս հարցումին ասեմ թե ինչ մեծ սոկատիվություն է որ երկու Նարեկներ ըլլան այս նույն գազམ་ագերության մեջ որ գոչվի երիտասարդ երաժիշտներու գազམ་ագերություն որ երկու նարեկներ ստանան այսպիսի դաղանթավոր award-ներ եւ ուրիշ երկու հայեր ալգան by the way Քաֆաֆյանները երկու քույրերն ճուտագահար անոնք ալ շահած են անցյալին դի համար ադիգա ինչպես ասի մեծ երջանկություն մեծ պատիվ գբերե եւ ըլլա նարեկներ կամ ըլլա ուրիշ հայեր, հովսեփներ, կամ արամներ, կամ արմեններ մեծի համար իսկապես մանավանդ ինձ համար հաճույք է հովանավորել այսպիսի հայ երիտասարդներ